think I'm gonna have to go to the store and get some popcorn. I can't believe that I'm out, but I definitely need to stock up. Why, you ask? So much good news about the circus going down. They're going down. All right, there are at least 9 red hats now who are going to sign the petition to release the files of Epi. 9. It was just 3 yesterday. Now it's 9. That's right. The rats are jumping off the sinking ship, as predicted by the Dreaming Woman. We said they were gonna desert him, right? And there was gonna be leaks. There was gonna be information coming out more and more. Now, the emails didn't technically get leaked, right? They got released by the estate of Epi. And apparently, according to Representative Jasmine Crockett, they had been trying to get these from like the DOJ, the official channels. But of course, the circus was like, we're not releasing anything that's going to incriminate us because, we're like a mob and we're trying to keep our crimes under wraps. So they got them released another way. And now they are releasing them. Dribble, dribble, dribble. A few each day. And it's glorious. Okay, in a really seedy, gross way, but glorious in terms of the big picture. Let's see, in addition to like Massey and Bobert, the ones we already knew about, we got Bacon, Crane, Davidson, I can't read this writing, Brescian, and Bunchel. All right, I don't know, close enough. And can't forget that Swalwell told us a couple weeks ago that he knew of 100 redcoats that were ready to turn. And have you seen the emails? Have you seen the emails of Epi? And let's be clear. The emails of Epi and the files of Epi are 2 different things. These are not the same thing. And so as bad as the emails of Epi are, the files of Epi are much worse. Because with the emails of Epi, we still have an element of plausible deniability. With the files, there is no such thing. Why? Because the files don't just include words. They're not just people talking. It's also images, photographs, moving images, videos of actual PDF files with actual children, with actual non-consenting women, right? That's what is in the files. But back to the emails that are coming out, dribble, dribble. So today we got an email that shows a clear link between Epi, the head clown, and Rasputin. And I'm over here dancing because wasn't I one of the people who like a year ago was talking about the global networks that connected Rasputin, the wealthy merchants, the land of milk and honey, the head clown, the bad traffic, including Epi, right? I've said for a long time, these are all connected, and that's how he was able to erect his tent without anyone buying tickets or without enough people buying tickets, because he has this network. All of these people, there's a lot of extortion, there's a lot of threatening. It's a mob organization, right? It's syndication, it's organized crime on a global level. And that's why there are so many people implicated, so many people who stand to go down with this ship. Can't believe I forgot my microphone till now. Tragic. All right, back to Metatron's non-news, but all good news. And we know it's bad because a certain someone, in fact, many someones in the circus, all of the someones, in fact, are refusing to answer any questions from any reporters related to these emails. The emails. Remember that? Master of perfection, projection. And I just wanted to point something out because lots of people have pointed out how he is the master of projection, right? He always accuses other people of doing things that he does. But can we also add in the prophetic nature? Because as a precog, I find that really interesting, that not only does he project crimes onto others, but he projects them in the future. Like he says something, and then months or years later, we find out that he's actually the one guilty of it and the one who's being confronted with that accusation, right? The emails. And one of these emails is about, what is it? Blanche, someone named Todd Blanche, who is a lawyer, and talking to another another lawyer, talking about how the the emails now show that the interview that they did with Gillette MaxiPad, is was that she was lying. And we all knew she was lying, but like now we have receipts. And she's over there getting preferential treatment in some low security lockup. Yeah, that's going to change. All right, so it's time to get your Christmas lights, not from a big box store because we're doing the blackout, right? We're doing the big blackout. We're not celebrating any uh, Black Friday. We're not doing any of that. We're not doing the high commercialism this year. But find yourself a local store, maybe a corner store, someone who, could use some business and get you some lights, right? Because not just for Christmas, but for the celebrations. And get your popcorn. And I know it's been taking forever. And it's been frustrating, especially for those of us who've been getting the predictions and then waiting and waiting for them to come true. But this was one of the things that I got in August was that these redcoats were going to start jumping ship. There were going to be leaks. There were going to be people being disloyal. And we are seeing that. And that's what we need. We have to keep in mind what we said from the beginning. And that is that many of these people are implicated. They were either involved in the island shenanigans or they're involved in global networks that engaged in, laundry that has to do with money, or they were engaged in something to do with, collecting gold bullion from the land of milk and honey. Okay, right. Microphone has to be over here. I mean, I'm just so excited that it's hard to focus. Okay, and other good non-news. The Catholic bishops apparently are about to release some big rebuke of the circus or something to do with supporting migrants or protecting them from the cold water cars, something like that. We don't know yet, but it's going to be big. And see, this is what needs to happen, right? We need to have all of these organizations and powerful people throughout the world. We need them to stand up and speak out against this circus. All right, and there's something else happening with China. So, unfortunately, it's fortunate and it's unfortunate at the same time. Our empire over here is, declining. And it's fortunate for the world because our empire has done a lot of bad things in the world. It's just sad for us, right? Because we're all going to feel the pain. And so China has decided, okay, we're not exporting any rare metals, something like importing, exporting. Okay, I can't remember if I got it right. But they're controlling the rare metal supply. And we can't make weapons. It's going to affect our electronics. It's going to be a big deal. And, this is also something that we saw coming for a while when he started engaging in all these import, export, tea refs. And we knew it wasn't going to work out for us in the long run, and it's not. Why is this a good thing? Because what was foreseen is that this particular circus of pirates came here to destroy things. And after they destroy them, there's going to be, or in the process of destruction, there's a revelation happening. The revelation reveals all of these networks of bad traffic and corruption and money laundering and implication of corporations and, political shenanigans, right? And that revelation is actually going to result in an improvement for the whole world because it's going to raise our consciousness, make us aware, and it's also going to remove a lot of those evil clowns from their positions of power. And so whenever we see things happening internationally that are negatively impacting this empire over here, we know that that's a sign that that's happening, that prophecy is coming true. We have to fall from grace in order to kind of dust ourselves off and recreate ourselves as something much better. And that's what we're doing. But it's going to be ugly in the process, right? A lot of ugly stuff is coming out. All of these ugly truths are going to come to the surface. All this flotsam is floating to the surface. So stay hopeful, my friends, and get your celebration supplies ready.